The ratings are in for this week's edition of AEW Collision on TNT, as well as the ratings for the Battle of the Belt special that followed the show on Saturday night. Grayson Waller breaks character and confronts a television presenter after being disrespected on an Australian talk show. We'll show you the video of that. Cagematch, they've released a statement and new rules to combat WWE and AEW trolls online. We got the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown on Fox. NXT confirms Cora Jade's torn ACL injury. The NXT Championship match and NXT Women's Championship match has been confirmed for NXT Vengeance Day. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic rolls on, and JBL appears on NXT to offer advice to a young, upcoming upstart. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the ratings for this past week's episode of AEW Collision on TNT, as well as the Battle of the Belts quarterly special. Now, Saturday's episode of AEW Collision averaged 400,000 viewers on TNT, down 0.5%. It's down less than 1%, so it's a minus number from the previous week. It's the lowest audience total for the show since November 25, and the second lowest number Collision has done on a Saturday night where there was not a WWE Premium Live event on the same day. Now, the show did go head-to-head with an NFL playoff game on Peacock that was the most viewed streaming event in history with over 23 million viewers. Collision drew a 0.10 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. That's down 23.1% from last week, and it's also the lowest rating since the November 25 episode. It's the lowest rating for a Collision episode without WWE competition. Now, Battle of the Belts, of course, that immediately followed AEW Collision on Saturday night. It averaged 351,000 viewers and drew a 0.09 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. That's the second lowest viewership total of the 9 Battle of the Belts specials that have aired thus far. It's the lowest 18 to 49 rating that Battle of the Belts has ever drawn. Battle of the Belts did retain nearly 90% of the overall audience of Collision and exactly 90% of the 18 to 49 demographic rating, which is higher than the show usually does. But what are your thoughts on the viewership numbers for AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts? It's just really the territory that we're in now, which is sort of 400 to maybe 500,000 viewers. That's kind of the number. What are your thoughts when it comes to Battle of the Belts as well? Is it a special that even interests you anymore? Is it just like a contractual tick-off for AEW at this point? What's your reaction to it? What's your thoughts? Let me know, as always, in the comment section below. Now, this is a really fascinating story because we've seen sort of infamous incidents like this in the past when it comes to Hulk Hogan, when it comes to Vader, famously or infamously in Kuwait. And that is when TV interviewers are somewhat disrespectful to professional wrestlers and the professional wrestling business. Now, WWE superstar Grayson Waller broke character on an Australian talk show, confronting a cameraman who, quote, disrespected him. WWE superstars LA Knight and Grayson Waller appeared on a talk show in Australia earlier today, doing promotional work for the upcoming Elimination Chamber event in Perth next month. However, things quickly went south and escalated on their appearance earlier today when Grayson Waller broke character to go off on a disrespectful cameraman. When Knight and Waller were asked by the host to demonstrate their finishing moves for the fans, volunteering a cameraman for the spot. Waller believed the volunteer to be disrespecting him and professional wrestling in general. Waller's reaction to that, LA Knight obviously stayed much cooler than Waller, but do you think he was right? Was he and professional wrestling being disrespected by the cameraman? Was the cameraman lucky that Grayson Waller didn't do more? Let me know your thoughts and reactions to that. Now, one website that's had a lot of people talking recently, particularly because of the comments of one AEW president, Tony Khan, saying that he books his shows based on the reaction to it, is Cagematch.net. Now, they have released a statement, a scathing statement that is, targeted towards WWE and AEW trolls in an attempt to counter online tribalism towards either company. Not for the first time, those running Cagematch.net have been forced to place measures on the website in order to combat WWE and AEW fans from slandering the opposing company. In a lengthy statement posted to the website, Cagematch's Matt Max laid out several new rules that look to prevent any mention of WWE in comments relating to AEW and vice versa. According to Max, non-compliance with the rules will result in warnings or bans dependent on severity and past history. The full statement reads as following: quote, "You know who this is aimed at. I do not believe I have to do this, but with the unnecessary amount of news and attention that we have received over the last few weeks, the amount of tribalism between WWE and AEW trolls has re-intensified. I wish all of you idiots step on pointy Lego bricks for the rest of your days. Here's the new rule. A. No mention of AEW or Tony Khan or similar topics in comments about WWE promotion, shows, titles, matches, or contracted wrestlers, neither directly or indirectly. B. No mention of WWE or Triple H or Vince McMahon or Nick Khan or Shawn Michaels in comments about AEW promotion, shows, titles, matches, or contracted wrestlers, again, neither directly or indirectly. I will leave it at my discretion to extend this list of contextually banned words without further announcement. The vast majority of the community gets it, and I will protect this community and our ideals. Non-compliance with the new rule may lead to one-time warnings or direct bans depending on severity and comment history. I am sick and tired of you people, again, you know who this is aimed at, stop dragging us into a painfully unnecessary and embarrassing flame war between two effing world-sized companies. The next step is to lock down WWE and AEW ratings to long-term registered users, and I don't effing care if half of you leave at that point. Cagematch was a lot of fun when we were small and unknown, and I much prefer fun and small over big and hateful any day. No money is made with this website of any of you clowns, or more people just cost me more each month for maintenance and hosting, so I don't give a shit about the page hits. Personal note, I just gave up warnings for the Jinder Rollins match where people were not commenting about the match but making it about WWE versus AEW or themselves. I genuinely do not understand how these people can call themselves wrestling fans. I genuinely don't. As alluded to in the statement, this is not the first time measures have been taken into account to combat tribalism on Cagematch. In May 2023, on the 21st anniversary of the website, a similar post was made which looked to prevent fans from either company rating matches with artificially low scores. In what will have likely fueled the fire, Cagematch was also recently brought into the recent social media controversy involving AEW President Tony Khan and Jinder Mahal. So, what do you make of this? Of course, the Twitter account for WWE's broadcast partner Monday Night Raw, the USA Network, mentioned Cagematch in an attempt to throw shade at the AEW president, who has been known to use the site as a tool to measure the success of All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor as well. So, what do you make of this? Do you think this is the right thing to do? Do you care that much about it? Let me know your thoughts and reaction to it in the comment section below. Now, let's talk about the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown on Fox. The TV ratings have been released for last Friday's episode of SmackDown, with little change from the previous week's ratings, but an increase in ratings when compared to last January. According to WrestleNomics, the total viewership for the show was 2.384 million, which is roughly 3% down from the January 5th episode, 2.465 million total viewers. The key 18 to 49 demographic also experienced a slight dip. The January 12 episode garnered a 0.64 18 to 49 rating, which when compared to the January 5th episode was down by 4%, as it had a 0.67 18 to 49 rating. The report highlighted how viewership of the blue brand this January is higher than last January in both total viewership and in the 18 to 49 key demographic. The total viewership for 2024 is currently 2.424 million, while it was around 2.346 million in January 2023. The key demo is also higher this January at a 0.66 when compared to a 0.58 in January 2023. So certainly one would look at it as improvement for SmackDown on Fox as it enters its final year. Now, Cora Jade, of course, we heard and it was speculated about Cora Jade's injury. Of course, Dave Meltzer later confirmed it was a torn ACL. Now, WWE have confirmed as such. During Tuesday's episode of NXT, commentator Vic Joseph confirmed that former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion Cora Jade suffered a torn ACL and is expected to be out of action for close to a year. Jade was injured last Friday at a house show during her match against NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria. She reportedly had to be taken backstage by 4 officials. Jade has been with WWE since 2021, has just made her return last month to the developmental brand. Jade had previously lost to former main roster star Dana Brooke in a kendo stick match before clearing out her locker on the August 1st episode. She ended up being gone a total of 4 months, finally making her return on December 9 at the NXT Deadline Premium Live event where she attacked Valkyria. Jade was scheduled to compete in Tuesday's 20-woman number one contenders battle royal, but unfortunately because of the injury was no longer involved in that match. Now, the NXT Championship match has been confirmed for NXT Vengeance Day. Finally, Trick Williams will get his shot at NXT Vengeance Day. On the January 16 episode of NXT, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes beat Malik Blade and Idris Enofe to advance to the next round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Later in the show, they celebrated their victory backstage. NXT champion Ilya Dragunov interrupted and expressed his regrets that the medical team did not clear him for his match with Williams at NXT's New Year's Evil event. He then announced that Williams would get his shot at NXT Vengeance Day. Hayes took issue with the announcement, as the finals of the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic will also be held at NXT Vengeance Day. As Dragunov noted, he was scheduled to defend his title against Williams at NXT's New Year's Evil. However, Dragunov suffered an apparent injury during a match against Ridge Holland. The week before the show, Dragunov stated he would still compete despite the injury, but at NXT New Year's Evil, WWE announced that he was not cleared for the match. Now, we spoke about the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic there as well, because the semi-finals are now set. As I mentioned, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes kicked off last night's show, defeating Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. As Williams and Hayes move forward in the tournament, so will Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde of the Latino World Order. LWO's entry into the semi-finals comes after Wilde and Del Toro defeated Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson of Chase U in the last contest of the opening round, which took place later on in the evening. Now, Wilde and Del Toro will soon face Hayes and Williams in what will be a first-time ever tag team matchup between the pair. Of course, as mentioned, the finals will be taking place at NXT Vengeance Day. Speaking of that event, we know what the NXT Women's Championship match will be at the show as well. On Tuesday's episode of NXT, 20 women competed in a main event battle royal where the winner would receive a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. However, this match came with an added twist. Once 16 women were eliminated, the final 4 competitors would then face off in a traditional fatal 4-way match. Before the battle royale began, the NXT commentary team confirmed that Cora Jade had sustained a torn ACL at a recent NXT live event. As a result, Jade was replaced by Ren Sinclair, formerly known as Maddie Renkowski. Sinclair put up a valiant effort in her showcase in her NXT debut, making it all the way to the final 5 before she was eliminated by Kiana James. Following Sinclair's exit from the field, James, Roxanne Perez, Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan transitioned into the fatal 4-way portion of the match. The ending sequence saw Jordan attempting a split-legged moonsault on James. Unfortunately for her, Izzy Dame pulled James out of the ring on her descent, allowing Perez to then lay out Jordan with pop rocks to secure the pinfall. With this victory, Perez will now move on to challenge the NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria at NXT Vengeance Day, which is set to take place at the FM Bank Arena on February 4. So that one is confirmed for the show. Finally, we saw a Hall of Fame cameo last night on NXT from John Bradshaw Layfield. NXT's Josh Briggs received some advice from WWE Hall of Famer and former WWE Champion backstage at the show on Tuesday. John Bradshaw Layfield, that's right, JBL, approached Briggs as he was sitting in the back watching his match from last week's episode where he defeated Oro Mensah. After Briggs asked for advice, JBL said what he saw Briggs' match against Mensah and it was a great win, but added that what Briggs is looking for isn't there. JBL said Briggs has shown his talent since he's arrived to NXT, but he hasn't got to show the world who Josh Briggs is. JBL compared the situation to himself when he put up the beer and threw away the playing cards, referring to his gimmick change from a hard-drinking APA mercenary to the Wall Street player who eventually became the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history at the time. Back in November, JBL selected Briggs to compete in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying match, which Briggs won by defeating former NXT champion Carmelo Hayes. He then moved on to the titular Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline to take on Dijak, Tyler Bate, Bron Breakker and Trick Williams, who ultimately ended up winning the match. JBL was last seen on WWE television coaching Baron Corbin on the main roster in October of 2022 through February 2023, a partnership that ultimately didn't bear fruit and sent Corbin back to the NXT ranks. But there you go, guys. This latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.